All right, we're back.
Hey, another week.
Another
Here we
week.
go.
Another Thursday, 4 o'clock.
They invited us back again.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, we can't stop the demand.
I mean, the demand. I mean, not only that, we're streaming on Periscope. They've asked us.
Oh yeah, basic economic principles here: supply and demand.
Highly in demand.
Yes.
Welcome to the happy hour. Glad you're with us.
ABC is in.
Michael
Bruno's
Bruno.
in. We love the song. The outfield, huh?
Hey, the outfield, Yacht Rock.
This is off the Yacht Rock playlist. If you're gonna check into that, I know ABC listens to that on the weekends.
Who doesn't love Yacht Rock? I mean,
Right.
how can you not love Yacht Rock?
I mean, that's a staple. That's a staple.
It is amazing.
So what do we got this week, man? We're out of the Kavanaugh hearings, I think.
Well, not quite. The crazies are still out there, and I tell you a funny story. I've been tweeting back and forth with. I've kind of had a few choice words and a dialogue with. Do you remember Sophia Bush from One Tree Hill and the actress
From George and
Yeah. So Sophia Bush and I have gone back and forth over the last year or so, and once again it came back out today. And she and all these Hollywood elites are nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, they think we're idiots.
So what is she yelling at?
Well, she's talking about.
Wow.
She wants people like your son to walk out of their school in protest of this, and I'm like, well, that's brilliant because that's not going to solve anything except get him suspended.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too many eyeballs on that thing, if you ask me. But
I mean, at like say in high school age, maybe I just didn't care enough, but like I had other things on my mind. I mean, it's Thursday night. I was ready for the weekend.
Yeah, we're not worried about all that.
No.
But man, we got a couple topics at the top, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about a book we're reading right now, working on investing for young people, and it applies to everybody. Ideas for building credit. Ran into some problems this week that I want to share with some people, and some misunderstandings maybe.
Absolutely.
On credit. And then we'll talk about some stocks and football.
Football. We got the football picks. By the way, did you see? Hey, this guy 5-1 last week, and I only lost. The only game I lost against the spread where you'd be rich is I went with my heart with Auburn, and
they didn't.
I mean, I went back and literally listened to it. Not only did the pick hit, the rationale hit, which means you and I are starting a 900 number this week. Every week, and we'll make money that way.
Just like a sports book.
Yeah, we're just gonna make it on picks though. Like we're not gonna bet it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make people like Brady money.
That's right. Jay Miller just joined us. Clint, Travis, good to see you guys. So Domino's Pizza, man, they are paving America. What's going on?
Paving America, one of the coolest things, and we touched on it before a little bit, but it's just a brilliant marketing move. They are going around the country, and their mission is they are going to pave the roads in all 50 states of certain cities that are nominated. They think loosely by votes. Now, that's not that they don't know. They actually have to have the municipality agree to it. So you can go and vote. By God, when you come out of the airport at Birmingham, you literally feel like you're on a Pothole 500. You look right. But what you do is you go vote. What's happening is they are literally hiring a local company, repainting all their equipment that says "Paving for Pizza," and when they're done, they pay for 100% of the paving. But in return for that, the pothole that's been filled now has a Domino's logo and says, "Oh yes, we did."
Now that's what I want to see. I want to see it reminds me of graffiti, right? They're going to be basically
graffiti in the streets.
Yeah, graffiti in the streets.
But we can't get them to fix the potholes anyway, so we might as well have a nice logo.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be great to see those that marketing all over the place. Domino's has done a great job, but it's very interesting. So, and they also have the insurance on the pizza if something bad happens to it.
While it's going to the thing, so they're playing it every which way from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah,
they're playing this,
selling a ton of pizzas.
I mean, wow,
very cool.
And you're going to get to them a little bit later because just a hint, you'll hear about them on either the college football picks or the stock picks.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can figure that out.
One or the other. So how do we vote for that? Pavingforpizza.com?
Let's see here. Yeah. So go to pavingforpizza.com, pavingforpizza.com. All you do is you hit a little thing. Again, brilliant move. You do have to put your email in there, but you can opt out of the emails. But again, they're paying for it. I don't know how the cities, it'd be the cheapest marketing. If you think about it from a marketing standpoint, it really is cheap. This, in the long run, getting national attention is national news to a national company. Probably cheaper to do this than it is.
Oh, yeah.
run a traditional campaign.
Absolutely.
Because since we're a big deal, we're talking to a ton of people for them.
Yeah, we're spreading the news just on our little platform. Huh?
Not little. It's not little.
Yeah.
Nothing's little about these guys.
We didn't tell Facebook that we are on Periscope too. Do we bring that in?
Yeah, we got Periscope. We got the new camera. You know, we've been talking about me. We are going big time. This is a Mevo camera back here. Back there. And it is being tested out on Periscope so that when we come back to you guys with the new camera, we have all the bells and whistles.
That's right. We don't want to waste any of this valuable Facebook time trying to figure that stuff out.
No. But hey, y'all, you ready to hear some fun stuff about government waste? Tom Coburn, who was a former senator out of Nebraska, I believe Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska. Has made it his mission in life for the rest of his life. He's going to try to cut government waste because God knows there's a ton of it.
There's a ton of it, huh?
And every year he releases a full-page ad in the not the New York Times, but the Wall Street Journal. And they came out with their top 100 examples of taxpayer abuse. And, well, I wanted to just share a few of these with you because you're going to love where your tax dollars are going. First... Number one, $1.4 million to sexual education for prostitutes.
How much?
$1.4 million.
$1.4 million in California.
Yes.
For sexual education for prostitutes.
All right, now, folks, I just want you to know Terry Sewell is your representative if you live in part of Birmingham. All right? Now, your representative has allocated $183,000 to a virtual reality course to teach children in China how to cross the road. Now, you're shocked.
183 grand.
To teach somebody how to cross the road.
In China.
Yep. All right, here we go.
Impressive.
Some more. Now, this was only $10,000, but it borderlines on ridiculous. How to talk to the saguaro cactus.
Talking to saguaro cactus.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, Mo Brooks, another Alabama.
It's amazing this stuff even gets published.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he has to.
But there's actual money going towards it.
He has to go find it. I don't think it's as easy as it is, right? This is another Alabama congressman. Mo Brooks, you might remember him from the big Senate race. He lost out in the primary. He allocated $2.5 million to Space Racers, an animated children's cartoon. It's great to know that they're in the cartoon business.
Impressive.
All right. $53,000 to gay Mexican prostitutes for safe sex. I don't know what even to say.
Nothing. Nothing. That's a nice one.
2 sculptures. Now, this is a good one. 2 sculptures for $670,000 for 2 sculptures for a Veterans Administration facility that serves blind people. Now, they ain't even going to see the sculpture.
The people working there will, huh?
I guess so. Now, this is a big one that you're going to love here is virtual shoe fitting. Carrie Ballinger, I bet, would love this. Virtual shoe fitting, $753,000 they spent. Really good. All right.
Impressive stats.
Now, this is a good, hold on, I'm not done. $2.1 million for measuring blood pressure at black barber shops. I mean,
they're really specific on some of these things.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, this is one my wife would love because not that she needs it. Hold on, I shouldn't say that, should I? It's a virtual weight loss game. She's on that diet now where you drink you go into ketosis and all that. It looks crazy to me, but virtual weight loss game, I guess, makes you feel good. $228,000.
Virtual weight loss.
And then, all right, last but not least, $1 million to where it hurts the most to be stung by a bee. They spent $1 million. Man.
Interesting. That's a lot of wasted money. And if those are government programs, then...
I mean, the government is up to something.
Sounds like there's...
and it's bipartisan.
Opportunities there.
Bipartisan.
To make some cash.
But you know what's embarrassing about that whole thing is that Birmingham is represented by a woman who allocates $200,000 to teaching kids how to cross a road. I'm telling you. All right.
Moving on.
Well, the IRS just this week, if you're a small business owner, this is a pretty big thing because, oftentimes I know you do because you've taken me out to lunch before. And you know what you did? You popped the Amex out and you paid for lunch.
Yeah, that was several years ago, though, before the
show.
Before the revised RESPA rules.
Well, that's
several years ago.
Oh, yeah. Right. Hey, exactly. But let's just say you're in business, you're going out there. Well, the IRS, under the Trump tax plan, appeared to take away the deduction completely for a small business owner to be able to deduct that meal, at least half of it, 50%. Yeah. Well, it's back. So if you're running a small business and you're doing it, they're going to allow the meal to be deductible. The example that the IRS gave in their guidance was a baseball game. You're not going to be able to do the entertainment expenses. So if I were to take you to a baseball game, I couldn't pay for your ticket, or I could, and it would not be deductible. But if I use a separate transaction, a separate deductibility, I guess same method, just different transaction, and I bought you a couple cold drinks and 2 hot dogs, that's fine because it's a separate transaction for the entertainment. But this is a really big deal if you're a small business owner because, it's part of business.
And technically, obviously for RESPA, loan officers are not allowed to do any of that, so probably won't apply to our business, huh?
There's nobody more knowledgeable of that than Courtney Harvey.
That's true.
By the way, did you see, since she's here and want to make sure she hears this, the stock market today, wow.
It's down.
The 10-year rate, and you'll explain that when we get there, what they're talking about the 10-year note. And I still don't understand why everybody freaks out. But down 300 at one point today.
Yeah, that's just a response to rising rates.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. Article out by the National Association of Realtors. They released a report saying that millennials and women statistically are now noticeably delaying their home ownership, which is interesting, and it's for one reason in particular.
And
that is student loans.
Student loans, yeah. Student loans becoming a big problem, a hot topic lately.
And what's really interesting, there's $1.5 trillion in student loans. What really surprised me was that of that $1.5 trillion, 2/3 of that is women. I had no idea that I don't know. I just think of women as being more responsible than men.
That they would not take out.
They would not take out the loan. They'd be like Courtney and work their way through and all that. But, what's really interesting is that they're delaying their purchase by up to 7 years, which is crazy. Because what we did see and have seen in the past is women, generally around the age of 22, 23, they come out of college, they're buyers immediately. The men were the ones that waited just because they were immature.
Right.
They weren't ready. But, 83, then the National Association of Realtors also did a study that said that 83% of non-homeowners, these are people that don't have a home right now, said the main reason they weren't buying was student loan burden. And it's gotten to be a big thing, and you're seeing it in your business.
We see the student loans a lot of times, and, going to college is a lot more accessible probably because of student loans. I know in recent years, the attendance rates are probably higher. A lot more people going to college and seeking out degrees. I think, to some extent that's needed for a competitive job market. But I think the student loans is something that people are not considering because it's so easy to get the loans.
So easy. You're dealing with a daughter now. You're looking at how much. They raise the price on these colleges and go, well, we're giving you $30,000 of free money. But it's not really free money that they're giving you. They're just decreasing your bill, right?
Right, yeah. So the gifts and grants and stuff are going to offset your expense.
And weren't you telling me, too, that 2 people can have 2 different rates, essentially, for going to the same school? In reference to how they're allocating all this stuff. So I could have a daughter that goes to the same school,
sure,
and you and I are paying 2 totally different things.
Oh, absolutely.
And
just depends on the amount of aid you receive.
The aid, right?
Yeah.
Quote, unquote.
Yeah, so, if it's, similar to furniture, right? Anything marked up, then you got a discount or going out of business.
You buy some real expensive.
You mark it up and then give them a discount. It's the same thing, right?
Hey, at least you can keep your furniture.
Yeah. Well, you can keep your degree, right?
Then keep your daughter.
Then you can keep your student loan bills.
Yeah, for a long time. Moving on to credit scores.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to bring something up. I had an issue pop up this week, actually, with authorized user accounts on credit. And I know this is a big thing that people do for building credit. And in some scenarios, this could be beneficial. Obviously, an authorized user account is basically when you add somebody else. So you're approved for the loan, and maybe you add your daughter, maybe you add your spouse or somebody else to the loan, and it starts reporting on their credit. But it's not actually a loan that they are paying on. So it's not technically their credit history, even though it can contribute to their credit score. A lot of times this can still help you in things that might pull your credit, like insurance, maybe getting qualified for a car loan,
and getting another card.
Yeah, getting another credit card, things like that. So it's a good place to start in some situations. But when you come to get the mortgage and that's all you've got is authorized user accounts, it's hard for us to determine whether or not this credit score is accurate, because your credit score is based on somebody else paying the bill, right? So if mom and dad are paying this credit card bill that you're on and you're not actually making the payment, then we can't look at it and say, oh yeah, your 750 score is accurate. You are credit worthy, because that credit history is just not accurate.
Right. And so, and one of the things is that if you have a child in college, I believe when they turn 21 and they're in college, the credit card companies have been forced by Congress to almost approve them. You have about a 1 year window in which go ahead and get them that card. Don't keep them on your card. Get them their own card so they can establish, because we see it a lot with especially women, right? These coming out of school. Dads tend to trust their daughters a little bit better with their credit cards. I don't know why, because I can't imagine Julia being really good with a credit card, right? But they tend to, and what we see is that the guys go ahead and just pull their own credit and do stupid things and have a credit score, but the women come out and they don't have one.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that you've got to take advantage and start early, start young. You got to take advantage of, or you got to be aggressive or active in building your credit. So go ahead and get a credit card early. So number one thing I would say is get a major credit card and keep a low balance or less than 30%.
Not debt to income, but to your balance,
yeah,
right?
30%
So to your
balance.
credit line.
Yeah.
So if you have give us an example of that.
Yeah. So if you got $1,000 credit limit, then don't carry any more than $300. And I'm not saying, after you make the payment. So don't go max it out and then pay it off, because credit card companies can report to the bureaus at different times of the month. So you want to just don't go over that $300 at any time.
Well, and that's real important, because y'all are looking at that stuff and everything.
And then I say number two, wait 6 months and then get another one. Okay. So, and get this done in your college years. Have two coming out of college. Get rid of the authorized user accounts, so the credit reporting and generating your score is your credit and not somebody else, not something that somebody else is paying. And then obviously number three would be avoid having your credit pulled too often. And avoid any late payments. Obviously, some of the stuff
late payments
seems obvious, but
no, I don't think it's obvious, because I think people really think that one won't hurt me. You go from one won't really hurt you, but from where you were to where you are after that late payment, it's a big deal.
But if you've only got 18 months of credit history and you got one late payment, it will hurt you.
Right. So, that's because you think. So if you have 30 years of credit history.
Right, yeah, it may not hurt as much.
And you know what's really interesting? I saw an article by may have been Money Magazine, one of those magazines, where the author was trying to get a perfect credit score and was working hand in hand with the bureaus. They were trying to tell it. And what they figured out was that it was virtually impossible without a long credit history, 30, 40-year credit history, to actually achieve a perfect credit score, because of what you're saying. Length of credit mattered, even if it mattered just a little. That short time frame doesn't factor enough to give you a perfect score.
Yeah, I don't even feel there is even a perfect credit score. So I think that's funny that anybody would waste their time trying to achieve that.
Well, Courtney Harvey has one. We know that.
Well, listen, the next thing I wanted to share, I've got a book that I'm reading with my son, trying to get him involved in investments, right?
Away from the MBA and on to MBA.
Yeah, we're trying to think about saving money, to get him prepared. It's the investment guide for teens for the Motley Fool. Okay, so right there, David and Tom Gardner. It's a great book. Now I've tried a couple other books to get him to read where I've already read them, so I hand them off to him. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, he's not excited about reading. So what I've done now, Yes, I agree with that. Building credit's like investing. Start early. So what I've done with this book is I'm reading one. I bought two. I'm reading one. He's reading one. We read about 20 to 30 pages a week.
And when do y'all talk about it?
So usually about 10 between Sunday and Wednesday. So we'll have a conversation on Wednesday and then again on Sunday. So,
right.
So I've split it up, trying to make it easy. I'm doing it too, so trying to hold them accountable. So anyway, just wanted to bring up a few things from this. And now, obviously, this is geared towards teens, but it applies to everybody. You know more than you think, which means you see examples of good companies every day. We're talking about investing. We're talking about, let's say, instead of buying, 2 cases of Coke or whatever, buy a share of Coca-Cola stock.
So for him, it's and don't buy the Nikes, buy Nike.
Buy Nike. Or, a clothing company or, Adidas, Under Armour, whatever.
Axe body spray.
Yeah. Yeah, look for different ways instead of just spending all the money. Go invest in these companies that are around you all the time anyway. Big lesson in here is the power of compound interest. There's an example I wanted to share with everybody. $100 growing at 10% per year. Could
10%.
you imagine if you just took $100 and just left it alone inside of an investment that was making 10% per year on average and didn't touch it after 100 years, how much it would be?
Can I guess? All right, it would be 1.25 million.
Can you believe it?
I'm a genius.
Now, we took $100 for 100 years, turned it into 1.25 million. Now, sure, you don't have 100 years, but would you ever have imagined $100 just sitting there making 10% a year would turn into that much?
No.
And I think that's the point that people don't realize a little bit. Starting early, a little bit goes a long way. Man, I was in my car riding, and just looked over at the bus. Saw some people riding on the bus, and I was thinking, I wonder if these people even know they're obviously saving some money by not owning a car. They could put that money away.
In Birmingham?
Even a little bit.
In Birmingham?
Yeah.
Oh, but you sitting in the rain if you're in Birmingham.
But even a little bit goes a long way. Let's see. The rule of 72. This was another one. So if you take 72 divided by your rate of return, all right, this will give you the length of time it will take your money to double. All right, so if you're...
All right, let's get an example.
Your rate of return is 10%.
Okay.
So 72 divided by 10 is 7.2 years.
So if I took $100 and I took that over 7.2 years, I would double to 200. Mm-hmm. But if I took stock advice from this guy, I'd double it in 2 months.
Yes.
Just saying.
Double in 2 months is...
Yeah, me and Courtney are a big deal in that area.
Pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
But, so... 7.2 years to double the money. So the rule of 72, you take your rate of return. If it's 4%, that's going to take 18 years.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So remember that, the rule of 72. Now, I wanted an example of the power of time. Okay, this is another little story in the book.
All right. Power of time.
So we got 2 people, Marge and Homer. Those are the names they use.
Wonder where they got that from.
Yeah. So Marge and Homer. Assuming 11% rate of return in this example, Marge starts $1,000 a year, but she starts at age 15. She's like cutting grass, she's babysitting. $1,000 per year.
Okay.
At 15 years old. She puts that away into her account for 15 years. Marge is done at 30. Okay. No more. She's not doing any more investing.
Marge, El Finito.
Done. Right? So, that's her example. Homer starts at 35. He starts a lot later.
Okay.
But he's putting in 5 times as much, 5,000 for 30 years.
Okay.
Till he's 65. So 5 times as much for twice as long. He's investing for 30 years. She only invests for 15 years. After this, when at the age of 65, Marge had 1.4 million, and Homer only had 1.1 million.
I mean, the numbers don't lie.
So it's because she
amazing.
Started early.
Right.
So the point here is to start early, and start early.
And see it as paying yourself, right? In other words, I think people don't think of it as a good feeling when I put money into a mutual fund.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's like getting vinyl siding at your house. Meh.
I know.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, and people would think, what if I just save $500 a year? I mean, that doesn't...
What if I just got the match,
that
right?
won't even make me much.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? But $500 over the course of 10 years and then hang on to that and let it compound for another 20 or 30 years, that's the part you're missing, because you're still going to hit that 20 or 30 year mark, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I also think the best thing you can teach your son is also not to do what I do, which is watch the market too much. Because if you were to look today, like today in isolation, you'd be freaking out.
Yeah, you get nervous. Now, Warren Buffett's another big name, obviously investing. He never looks at his investments.
Right.
He buys and holds and doesn't care what the market is doing until the story behind the company changes. So, for example, let's say Coca-Cola. Let's say he loves Coca-Cola, and then they hire somebody and they change everything they're doing, and he doesn't agree with that. That would be a reason.
They go to clear Coke.
That would be a reason for him selling his stock, not because the stock market dropped 350 points today in response to rising interest rates. That has nothing to do with Coke.
Correct.
So Coke stock goes down because interest rates go up. That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So that's not a reason for Warren Buffett to sell. Listen, the last point about this was that this book was written in 2002. What still applies that was written in 2002?
Well, no, when I saw the notes that you had provided me earlier today to kind of review, it's funny. I read that whole thing, and then I got that last one, and that's the one that had the most impact on me. I mean, granted, the compounding rate of interest, all that. But the idea that we sometimes, I go to Google and what do? I look for the most relevant searches because they must be better if they were recent.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the case with financial.
So what's this 2002? I mean, how can this still apply today? I mean, but it does. I'm telling you, these are simple principles. They're going to apply today. They're going to apply in 10 years, 20 years. So real easy to understand. But I do want to get back to some of the stuff we've touched on, the markets, okay? Interest rates right now are moving up.
Yep, and they're moving up pretty heavily, too,
Yeah,
right?
they're moving quickly, okay? So there's a few things, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of complex things that most people don't care about. So I'm going to keep it real simple. The economy's doing well.
Hashtag winning.
Okay?
Winning.
Hashtag winning. So when the economy is doing well, which is what everybody was wanting to do, that's why we kept rates low for so long. That's why, and low rates increase capital, increase money from the consumer that they can spend, which goes back into the economy.
Absolutely.
So what happens is inflation fears come.
Right.
Because the price of goods, the easy flow of money. So that's why you see rates moving up now. The government is no longer involved in buying mortgage-backed securities, which was kind of
it was our safety net.
That was our safety net. So
absolutely.
even if these fluctuations happen, like even if the jobs report came out good, or the consumer price index came out good, so the economy looks good, well, the government could still buy mortgage-backed securities and keep rates low. That's not here anymore.
No, right.
So the easy explanation is the economy's doing good, inflation fears are coming, so that's why some people are moving into bonds.
Remember, the way I always look at it, David, the way I always look at it is nuclear war equals good for interest rates. Peace equals bad for interest rates in isolation.
And we're just getting back to that equation because before nuclear war and peace, green tomatoes, didn't matter. Everything meant low rates.
That's right. Because we were artificially keeping them low.
In the last 8 years, everything meant low rates. Well, now
we're back to where we can kind of gauge where rates are headed. And really, realistically, I can't tell you how many people we see that are, I guess, we talked about last week, was it that these young millennials and these Gen Z or whatever they are, the next group, they've never lived through an environment. And we hear them say, we're like, look, interest rates are almost 5%. And they're like, oh, for the love.
Yeah,
I'm not getting in that thing.
They're freaking out.
And I know when you first got into the market, in 1972, you were paying what? 20%?
Oh, yeah. Oh, easy. So, yeah, I mean, the Fed's been raising rates for the past couple of years. The writing's on the wall. Everybody's been talking about it. They're not changing their stance on next year, so they're going to continue to raise their rates. It's going to flow to the rest of interest rates out there. So that's going on.
Nice.
Stock pick of the week.
Stock pick of the week.
Man, Domino's Pizza. I mean, we're paving for pizzas at the top of the show.
So they're good people. We've said that.
Man, they were one of the pioneers in technology for mobile food ordering. Okay.
I agree. Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
their app, the technology behind ordering food,
Right.
skipping the line.
Absolutely.
They've had the
the
little
30 minutes or it's free.
They had the little pizza tracker on your phone. You could see when you ordered. You could see when it was in the oven. You could see when it left the store for delivery.
Yep. And what was it? They had the little Zoid, avoid the Noid.
Yeah. But now they've got the hot spots. So they actually have areas in highly populated cities where you could order at the dog park. You could order a pizza. You could pull it up on your phone.
That's just crazy.
And it's over here by the trash cans or whatever.
I'll be right over here.
Yeah. I'll come over there and pick it up in 5-10 minutes whenever it gets delivered. So the hotspots are cool. The technology they've been using is cool. The stock is up 48% this year. Opened in January at $190 a share. Currently trading at $282, up 48% this year. That's a big move.
Wow. And everybody says, what's going to happen in a recession? One thing I don't think is going to happen is pizza. Pizza's pretty recession-proof to a certain degree.
Yeah, and I've heard people talk about pizza. The margins on pizza are very nice for business owners as well.
Well, and I've been big. Another pullback today. I think now's a good time if you're trying to get in the market. Now's a good time with the pullback today. I mean, we saw things like RCL, Royal Caribbean, down 2% for no reason. When I say no reason relative to their earnings.
Right. It's and you could argue the other side too that stocks have moved up a good bit, not relative to actually the company's performance, but
these companies are about to have one thing we're about to come into is we're coming into profit season. And so they say, if the experts are right, that this is going to be an odd October and November because they apparently Americans have been spending big time.
And that's the result of this economy doing well, right? That's the results of a good economy.
Absolutely. I mean, look at what they've done, from everything from, we talk about Netflix, we talk about Tesla. I mean, Tesla's been a roller coaster, right? But all it took was them to basically open the cork on the Tesla Model, the new one C or whatever that was the economical one. They just started tons of delivery.
Yeah,
stock went rough line. How they went? Yeah, we know you may have been a little corrupt. The CEO Elon Musk, or whatever he did.
Yeah,
he kind of inflated a situation.
Right,
and so they didn't care about that, but.
So
I like that one.
So I think
good pick.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot. The markets are moving. Rates are moving.
But just
the
get a good
doing well.
Hey, if you're not in the market, just get a good mutual fund. I've told you one of the best ones I like is T. Rowe Price's TRBCX. T. Rowe Price Blue Chip Fund is a awesome fund that'll give you exposure to all these, but minimize your downside risk.
Yeah, definitely. Any type of index fund based on the S&P 500 be a great pick. But other picks.
Hold on, real quick. Want to say hi to Tom, Tyler. How are you, Tyler? Hope you're doing well. And to your dad, Mr. Arnett, how you doing?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Now we've got, speaking of picks.
Hey, it's football time.
Football picks. We got Texas A&M -5.5 versus Kentucky.
Hey, this is Wildcat City. You ever played roulette?
Oh, yeah.
Just a few times. When it goes red 500 times in a row and you go, I'm going to put it all, most people go, it's got to be black. They want to go against it.
Yeah.
The trend is your friend here. You take the Wildcats. I don't need the points. They're going to win outright. So,
Done.
Heck with the points. What about you?
You know what? I got to go with Jimbo. I would go with Jimbo on that one. Texas A&M, it looks like they're at home. They got a tough crowd. Notre Dame -6.5 at Virginia Tech.
This is a tough one. I mean, really, because Notre Dame is one of those teams. What I'm going to tell you is this. I mean, this Virginia Tech team is better than they've been playing.
They're better than ODU.
They're better than ODU.
That they lost to.
That's true.
Okay. So their season's lost. They could fight to. This could be their shot at redemption. This could save their season, right? They need a game. They lost to Old Dominion.
All that said, and
Notre Dame will win.
I agree with you. Notre Dame covers not only wins, but they beat the 6.5.
Yeah, they'll beat them. It's going to be easy to knock Virginia Tech down and get them
All
on
right,
the side.
the next one is the 113th meeting of Oklahoma and Texas. What are they? It's a huge rivalry.
Red River shootout or something?
Rivalry.
Red River rivalry. Okay, Oklahoma -7.5.
Look, this is a joke. Oklahoma, I mean, they got them by almost like 19 points per game.
Joe Mixon's coming back to play with them this weekend.
Boomer, Sooner, big time. They win by 2 touchdowns.
-7.5, 2 touchdowns. LSU -2.5 at Florida.
Hey, let's just say it this way.
Gokes.
I mean, this is go Tigers.
Gokes Tigers.
Yes. No question. Here's the thing. Florida is better than they were, but not near as good as LSU. Doesn't have the talent LSU has. LSU not only covers the 2.5, but they're going to win by 10 or more.
And the Alabama fans need LSU to win it. Speaking of Alabama, -35 at Arkansas.
Well, why would you? Why you look? I'm a big Aubie. However, why would you even think they couldn't cover this
35 is
in the first quarter?
35 is maybe the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I
definitely
get
the first half.
I get a text from you the other day after the first quarter going, "I'm a genius."
They covered in the first half.
Yeah. So yes,
I mean, before you blink last week, it was 21-0.
yeah. Roll Tide on this one.
Roll Tide. Auburn -4 at Mississippi State. Now Mississippi State, they're loud, huh?
I mean, that darn cowbell will be ringing, right? And this is going to be close.
We're still waiting on Auburn to show up. Still waiting on Auburn to show up.
This is pivotal for Gus Malzahn, I think. But the offensive line is awful at Auburn. No talent on that offensive. I mean, you have a few guys that are all right, but they're getting busted right up the middle, forcing the quarterback to run out left. Guess what? Auburn covers the 4.
Auburn wins. Auburn wins, and that's it.
Defense, by the way, is what wins. Auburn doesn't win. The Auburn defense wins.
I'm almost tired of watching them this year.
Well, it drives you bananas.
They're frustrating.
Hey,
Very frustrating.
I mean, I tell you.
Melanie Collins says, "Roll Tide," and Georgia Tech. We didn't even cover them.
Well,
they're 2-3.
That's right.
They beat a couple high school teams and
lost to everybody else.
They lost to everybody else.
But y'all make more money than everybody else.
Well,
not you necessarily. I mean, the team.
the team.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
All right, guys. We will see you same time, 4 p.m. next Thursday.
That's it.
All right.
We'll be here.
Y'all have a great week.
See you guys.
Bye.